Hey Jail, it is the door that kills anime and manga. Back at you again to introduce to you new manga. Okay, we face this series, and the series for this week is Nanatsu no Taizai. And I wanted to talk about this for at least a month and a half now. There we go. Nanatsu no Taizai, just a little volume panel, and the title right there, you can see it. AKA The Seven Deadly Sins, was written by this mangaka who's named Nakaba Suzuki. It's published by Kodansha, and Kodansha publishes it in the Weekly Shonen magazine. So if you like series such as Codebreaker, Hajime no Ippo, Fairy Tail, then you want to check this series out because it goes in the same comic. Alright, now Nanatsu no Taizai's premise surrounds it being in medieval world. So if you're a seinen fan and you keep up with Berserk, then you get the whole medieval aspect. But it's a shonen, so it has a lot of fairy tale aspects. And like in my last intro manga with Buster Kill, I was comparing this, and at the end of the video I remember I mentioned Nanatsu no Taizai. Well, this is why. Because this is the second series apart from Buster Kill that I compare with Fairy Tail for you guys who I want to get into the series. So it's very flavorful. The premise of the story, the plot of the story, is that it involves, like I said, the seven deadly sins. These people, there's seven people who used to be knights who worked for this kingdom of Britannia. And basically, they were accused of trying to overthrow that kingdom at the time, and then they were isolated. They were expelled from the kingdom, and they split up over time. Well, a decade later, when we get into the beginning of the story, it's discovered that we see this protagonist who's named Elizabeth okay, Elizabeth. I'm not going to use her last name. But basically, what she does is she goes into a bar and she walks there, which is called the Boar Hat Bar, and she sees this dude, the waiter, who seems to be weird because he's a kid. His name's Meliodas, and he has this gag. Meliodas is a pretty cool guy. You know, he's frank, and he's unwavering, he's brave, he doesn't get intimidated easily, and he meets them in the bar, and this Elizabeth character who's dressed up in knight armor just falls down, and she's in trouble, and she's trying to run away from the Holy Knights trying to come after her, and the servants of the Holy Knights. Over time, we discover that she's running away from them because she is a descendant of royalty from the kingdom. The Holy Knights who used to work for the royalty, the monarchy inside of the Britannia kingdom, overthrow the monarchy. So the Holy Knights rule over that town now, and the Holy Knights have just caused a muck everywhere. They're enslaving people, they're choosing and drafting men of the kingdom to go fight for their servants in the war, they're making children, and they're making women, making food storages, and doing all the handy dandy bitch go make me a sandwich work, alright? And and if you don't like this type of classic thing, they only got one thing to say to you.
Bitch, shut the fuck up!
And also, it's a part of a good story because I think it allows for more characters to shine. Now that we are interested to Elizabeth and Meliodas, the premise is that they're going to be introduced together, and over time, Elizabeth wins over Meliodas. Unbeknownst to her during this build-up is that she's being chased off by one of the Holy Knights, and Elizabeth is on a journey because she knows about the history with the seven deadly sins, that she must go and find them so they can fight back for her kingdom that she's lost, and she managed to escape them. Meliodas turns out to be one of those seven deadly sins, one of the knights who used to work for the kingdom but got expelled a long time ago. So over time she wins him over and she tries to help him out, but it's particular because this is when I get into the characters. You see, Meliodas is known as the leader of the seven deadly sins. But he's a kid, and he really doesn't show a lot of leader I mean, he shows frankness, sternness, like he's a brave warrior. You could see why he would show himself as a leader, but it's much more we don't know about him. He has forms, he's in this kid form, but then he can change his muscles and his arm and his different types of abilities of an adult. His wanted poster that was inside of the series is not the same that he looks like right now, and we figure out a series. How he typically fights a thing that has a dragon I forgot what you call it. It's that thing beneath the blade. The sheath or something? No, not the sheath. That's the thing you put it in. But the halberd or something. The halberd. I think you call it that. Yeah. Basically, it's made of a dragon substance, and it's a broken sword. Like, it's a flat blade, like if you imagine Guts' sword, and it was cut like 4 inches from the hilt. So it's weird, and his powers work. Here's how one of his powers work if you guys are interested in fights and whatnot. And this series so far, even though it's 36 chapters plus, it has great fight. Meliodas has this ability called Full Counter. And Full Counter works, if you guys watch Bleach, then you know Yuki Take, one of the captains inside of the Gotei 13. His ability works as he has one side of a blade that absorbs the enemy's attack and the other side that sends it out at a faster speed, twice as strong. Well, that's basically a summarization of Meliodas' abilities. But the thing that he cannot do and what makes him weak with using this ability is that he can take your attack and he can make it stronger, but he can't try to goat or use this ability to attack you without you trying to make the first move. Alright? I like how this is aligned with this little pig creature demon thingy called Hawk, okay? And I know, it's so fucking weird. It's a pig that's called Hawk. I know. Meliodas is trying to gain information about where the location of the other 7 deadly sins can be at. This is how the story starts, and sooner or later they go to other places in order to find these guys. I would recommend this series if you like action, adventure, comedy, and of course it's a shonen, so there's certain aspects that you guys my age and your late teens and the early 20s would like to see. Like or dislike this video, it does not matter. You've had all the quality content with none of the filler, and if you don't know what that is, you need to watch more anime.